The following program is rated S for satire. We are not professionals, nor are we clinically depressed. We do, however, suffer from long bouts of indecision and stagnation. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Take That Depression, the Project CC arc. I'm Kyler. That's Spencer.
Hello.
How are you doing this week, Spencer?
I'm doing really good. Ended the week, or started the week off on a day off, and that's been pretty great so far. Getting a lot of relaxing in and checking off a lot of boxes, so I've been excited about that.
Yeah, I cannot complain. This is a grander scale than this week, and I'll tell you that much right now. We started off this year saying 2026, the year of more, and we have been absolutely killing it in the year of more. It has been
so much stuff.
Playing so much more Magic, spending more time with the boys, playing games, whatever. It's been just a blast, and I'm reflecting on that right now of just how much more we've gotten in 2026, and I'm very, very happy.
It's not even over yet. It's not even close to being over.
No, we're not even halfway yet. And yeah, 2026, the year more, we're killing it. Hopefully we continue to kill it. But yeah, my week's been great. Definitely getting more in and more on. So, but this week, again, last week was a Set in Sand episode. So this week we're coming to you with a couple of things from that episode that we're putting in stone. We're etching it. We got our little stone carving chisel and hammer, and we're gonna tink 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 our way into a couple of things that are set in stone moving forward.
It's real exciting for us when we do these episodes because it's nice to get everything hammered in place so we know where to focus and actually start watching our binder grow of things that we're doing instead of just a big pile of like what ifs.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this today when I was driving to pick up the kids from daycare, but I'm like, it's crazy the things that we're like setting in sand and setting in stone, because it's like we're chomping at the middle of the burger right now.
Yeah.
Dude. Like, we need to start by making a patty, and we've already got the patty in our heads. We've already got the patty made, and we're cooking it up.
I'm gonna be full disclosure. We don't even have a world name yet or a city name. No. We don't have a hero. We don't. No. So it's so funny the things, and even before this, like when we've talked about like coming to Kyler about ideas, I'm like bringing up like end game ideas. What if this happens in the end? Yeah. Okay, that's cool, but how do they get there?
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll figure that out.
What if this plot twist? It's like, yeah, but how did we get to the plot to twist it?
So it's been goofy, but it's fun to start getting things laid out and start getting our foundation.
Yeah, to get any laws of the universe, to get anything set in stone is a step closer. So you can't be mad at it. If we're chomping at the middle of the burger or the edge, it doesn't. We're doing something.
Yeah, that's the key. If it's just like weeks of this every week, it's like, well, still, maybe what about this? And it's like we have 5 episodes and never wrote anything in stone.
Yeah, exactly. At least we're making hard and fast rules here. Kind of hard and fast rules.
Fast and loose.
Yeah, hard and loose and fast. Do you want to take it away with your first set in stone then? Or you got any more preamble?
Yeah, so last week we talked about squads.
Yep.
And I think a hard set in stone we've came with is 3-man squads.
Yeah, Naruto did it. And that's good enough for me.
And that's good enough for me as well. It just seems to make more sense with how small I assume the dungeon is going to be. Yeah. Like, if you have, like, an army of people, you're just going to get cluttered or whatever. It doesn't make sense. I feel like if you have a small group, that's enough for a hero, 2 main characters, or 2 side characters, whatever. And then it just kind of keeps things condensed, and I feel like you can focus more on their backgrounds. I feel like it would be a lot more to, like, now you got to go in depth with 5 different characters and whatever.
Yeah, one thing for me that I like is it leaves room for roles, but does not leave room for redundancy. So you're not going to have like 2 corpse carriers or whatever. You're not going to have 2 medics in the group, probably. because there's not enough slots.
Yeah.
Like you need a guide, you need a corpse carrier, you need a medic, you need a fighter, you need all these things, and you only have 3 slots. So which 3 are you taking? Instead of which ones are you taking, which ones you have doubles of, triples of in your team. And then
you
I
got
think
3 of the same guy.
yeah, I think it's very cool as a storytelling piece to have that where there's just you are setting out and you have to leave something at home. You only have enough pockets for how many things, and you need to leave something at home. Hopefully you don't run into the thing that you need that something for.
My forgetfulness, oh no.
And yeah, again, like you were saying, the claustrophobia that I hope to invoke in some points in the dungeon would also make 5, 6, 8-man squads feel out of place. So I do think that the 3-man or 3-person, 3-entity squads is kind of the perfect size.
Goes into battle with 5 people, and then all of them get Indiana Jones with the boulder because they're tripping over each other.
Just, yeah, absolutely. Like
so ends our tale.
300, where it's like you just get to a pass and then or like a doorway.
Yeah.
Clear the
doors
fatal
will
funnel.
get you every time.
Yeah, clear the fatal funnel, man. But yeah, if you got like 5 people that need to get through a doorway, that takes way longer than 3. And if you can get blocked in that doorway and people can just chop you down there, like, yeah, it's I think smaller is better. I don't think going any smaller would benefit us. And I don't think like 4-man I think has been done. To and from the moon, like that's kind of the preferred size of it, like a D&D party, things like that. So like 4 to 5. So I think that having it be a little bit smaller, making the squad make choices about what they're bringing to the table, I think it's going to be a huge benefit for like storytelling beats.
I'm excited about that,
Yeah.
Set in stone, add to the chisel.
Got it. Now my set in stone for the week, and something that I'm very, very sad to say. And I think it needs to happen, is that runners, being speedrunners of the dungeons, don't exist in this world, in this time, as we know it. I think that, again, I could talk about the idea of runners for so long, between like ideas from Maze Runner and things like that were like such a cool concept, and I'm very, very excited to hopefully get to explore that at some point. I don't think it has a home here. I think it would take too much away from the story we're trying to tell. And that's one of my big bugaboos. I think that a lot of things now, they either set out with a story to tell, or they just like set out with an idea, and then the money keeps them coming back. You have this really successful TV show that sets out with, this is the story I want to tell. But at the end of the story, they're making millions and millions and millions of dollars. So
how can we keep this going?
Why stop? Let's add another leg onto this. Let's add another leg.
We were going to end it, but now all of a sudden plot twist. 8 more seasons.
This cow is still spitting out money, so we're going to keep eating it. I'm very much in love with the idea, you have a story to tell your story and move on, regardless of what's going on. And I think that that's something that we had talked about. We have kind of a really rough idea of the story that we want to tell. And that means that there is like a kind of shelf life to at least this version, this era of Project CC. So then we can take that, once we tell the story we want to tell, then we can move on and tell the story of the runners, either in the past or in the future of whatever we got going on right now. So that's there's one show that I really, this is a left field, but not a sponsor, just a really cool product. Centaur World, I don't know if it's still on Netflix. If it is still on Netflix, highly recommend a watch. It was 2 seasons. Every time I think of Centaur World, I'm like chomping at the bit for more. But they set out, they had a story to tell, they told it, and they moved on. And it is like 2 seasons. You can binge that in a weekend. It is an exceptional show. I want so much more of it. It was so funny, so feelings full. It was ups, downs, left, rights, plot twist, not plot twist. Like such a good show. And they told the story they wanted to, and they left it. Which is like, that to me is way more meaningful than keeping it going because you like, there's this other idea that you want to try and this other idea, and it's like, okay, come back with like a fully flat, like, again, if you want to keep it in the same universe, I think like we're doing, come back 100 years, 1,000 years later in that universe, or come back whenever in the past, but still in the same universe. So the laws of physics they still apply. You don't have to start from the ground up writing this thing, but it's not the initial Project CC. It's this other bit. Now we want to tell the story of the runners, and we can really focus on them, where we're not then focusing on the main squad of 3, and then the runners, the main squad of 3, and then the runners, and pulling people's attention. It just doesn't feel good.
I'm excited for that to see what that looks like. It's when you pitched it, that was such a cool concept, and I wish there was like a better spot for it. Mm-hmm. But like you were saying, I just don't know if it quite fits.
Yeah, and like, with just 2 people doing this thing, and especially being so early on in the ideas phase, there's not enough bandwidth to allow for that. I think if like we had a team, if we had a Netflix-sized team, or whatever those showrunners have,
even just like 20 people in a room, like, all right, this is what we're doing, ideas, this is your homework, come back in a week, go.
Where it like, here's how these stories can be told simultaneously without pulling the attention away from either one, blah 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 blah. Like, it's just we're just 2 guys, man. And I really want to put the focus on the squad of 3. I really want to put the focus on what Project CC is all about. I'm very excited to get those bits and bobs out there, and really see how people resonate with the story that we're trying to tell, and the world. The world is a fun, like the CRU and stuff like that, to me, is a fun concept, and I don't know that it's been super explored in anything else. I'm not the biggest anime watcher, so I wouldn't know, but it's such a fun concept, and you have the insurance people from Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever that like are kind of like that, but not really. And it's, again, a very cool concept. I'm very excited to explore it.
We've talked about it before, coming up with ideas or seeing ideas, but also like adding your own spin if it exists. Mm-hmm. I watch a lot of anime, I play a lot of video games, so it's like cool to see these worlds and see how they could be like, yeah, but what if they did this, and kind of put a spin and stuff like that.
Yep. Yeah, it's so fun, like, with all the media that's been made, to see how things handle magic, to see how things handle life and death, to see how things handle whatever. To experience so many different takes on that, to then get to impose our take also on those things, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
To add our little spin on whatever into the great melting pot that is media that people can intake is a fun thought, at the very least. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to cover for this week's episode?
I think for our set in stones, that's it. I'm excited to do some brainstorming this week and highlight some things to focus on next week.
Yeah, set in stones I feel like need to happen, and I enjoy when we do them.
It keeps us on task,
yes.
Which is huge. Yeah. We both need that.
Yes. And I love set and sand episodes because we get to just run for a while. We get to just be silly. We get to do the what if, the brainstorming, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing
That's so good. I love that idea. Write it down right now.
Yeah. And then you take a look back on it after you've slept and you're like, oof, no, that doesn't really fit with what we're doing. But yeah, these set in stone ones definitely keep us on task. Again, it's going to be nice for us to go back, listen to these set in stones, really see where all of our loyalties lie, and get that list made up, and then really push forward doing stuff. And hopefully, next week with set in sand, we can come with some of the edge of the burger stuff. We can come with some of the beginning stuff.
Give me the bits.
Yeah. We'll let you know after next week whether or not we do that. But you know where to find us. You know what to do. All the algorithmy things. We love to hear from you. If you want to hit us up at our email, comment on anything on Spotify, like whatever, wherever you can. We love you guys for it. And anything else from you, Spencer?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. We love you.
Yeah, we love you. As we always love to say, stay safe out there.
And don't get mugged.
If you are struggling, please, please, please reach out to someone or dial 988 to get connected with someone at the National Suicide Hotline. You do not have to go it alone.